Okay, so today I've got a fantastic ancient riddle for you. It's this brilliant story about a father's really strange will, his three sons, and a math problem that seems, well, completely impossible to solve. Let's just dive right in. So, the whole puzzle really boils down to this one question. How in the world do you divide something that, well, just isn't divisible? Now, stick with me here, because the answer is surprisingly elegant. Our story kicks off, like so many do, with a family facing a tough time. We're in this tiny village, right on the edge of a huge desert, where a father is about to leave his sons well, let's just say a very peculiar legacy. All right, so let's set the scene. You've got an aging father, his three sons, and the entire family fortune, a herd of 17 camels. And you gotta understand, in the desert, these animals were everything. They were their main source of income, their survival, the whole shebang. So, as happens in life, the old man eventually passes away. He leaves behind a will, and while most of his stuff is divided up pretty normally, the instructions he leaves for those 17 camels present a challenge that, well, I don't think any of them saw coming. Okay, so this is where we get to the real heart of the riddle. The father's will isn't just a little confusing, it's a full-blown mathematical paradox. It seems like there's just no way to solve it. See, the will was super specific. It didn't divide the camels into whole numbers. Nope, it divided them into fractions. And that is the problem, right? Because you just can't apply these fractions to the number 17 without running into a pretty serious and frankly messy problem. So let's break down exactly why they were so stuck. The eldest son, he was supposed to get half the camels. Half of 17 is 8.5. The middle son gets a third, which is about 5.67, and the youngest gets a ninth, so roughly 1.89. I mean, you see the problem, right? You can't have half a camel, and you definitely can't have 0.67 of one. They were just completely stuck. And this quote from the story just perfectly sums up how they felt. They spent days arguing, trying to figure it out, but every road led to the same dead end. They were at a total loss. How could they possibly honor their father's will without, harming the very animals they were supposed to inherit? So after days of just banging their heads against a wall, the brothers finally realize they need some help. They decide to go see a wise man in their village, hoping that maybe, just maybe, an outside perspective could solve what seems totally unsolvable to them. So they go to him, they lay out this whole impossible situation, and get this, the wise man doesn't even blink. He listens to the whole story, understands the problem, and immediately sees the solution that had been hiding in plain sight. Yeah, it all boils down to this one single number, 17. It's a prime number, which means it's just stubbornly indivisible by 2, 3, or 9. The exact fraction's in the will. It's like a mathematical knot they just can't untie. And this is where the genius comes in. The wise man does something that seems to make no sense at all. He takes one of his own camels and just adds it to the brothers' herd. And boom, just like that, the entire problem transforms. By adding just one camel, the total is no longer 17, it's 18. And 18, while 18 plays very, very nicely with the numbers 2, 3, and 9. So just watch how this one simple move completely unravels the entire puzzle. All of a sudden, the impossible math becomes, well, not just possible, but actually pretty easy. Okay, so now the math is a piece of cake. The eldest son needed half. Half of 18 is a nice, clean 9. Perfect. The middle son gets his third. A third of 18 is 6. The youngest son gets his ninth. A ninth of 18 is 2. No more fractions, no decimals, just whole, happy camels for everyone. But wait, because this is where the solution goes from clever to absolutely brilliant. Let's just quickly add up the camels that each brother actually walked away with. And there it is. Check this out. You've got 9 for the eldest, plus 6 for the middle, plus 2 for the youngest, and what does that equal? 17! They've managed to divide the original 17 camels, and hey, everyone actually got more than they would have with the messy fractional math. All right, this brings us to the final beautiful piece of the puzzle. So what about that extra camel, right? The one the wise man brought. So after all the division is done, every brother has their share, and what do you know? There's one camel left over, just standing there. And that one remaining camel is, of course, the wise man's. It's the one he loaned them to begin with. He just takes his camel back home, and that's it. The problem is completely solved. Everyone's happy, the will is honored perfectly. It's just elegant. So what's the big takeaway from all this? The story offers this really powerful lesson about what true intelligence is. It's not just about being good at math. True intelligence, the story suggests, is about creativity. It's about finding that common ground, that shared space, that makes a solution possible in the first place. That 18th camel, that was the common ground. It was this temporary thing, this catalyst, that was just introduced for a moment to completely reframe the problem so everyone could move forward. And so that leaves us with a question for you. When you're facing your own impossible problem, a situation that seems totally stuck and indivisible, what's your extra camel? What's that outside perspective, that temporary resource, that one little thing you could introduce to completely change the equation and find your own elegant solution?